welcome back to another episode of the Muscle Whisperer with me, Kate Browne. In this video, I'll be sharing some top tips for draping. So I hope you enjoy. If you do, give us a like, comment and subscribe. Okay, so I'm just going to demonstrate how I like to start a massage. I almost always start over the covers. This is because I think it's a really nice way to introduce the touch and also just to help the client settle, let them adjust to the temperature, just keep them warm whilst you begin the treatment. So I personally find it quite distracting if a therapist just straight away brings back the drapes and straight on with the oil. It's a bit too fast for me. I like to be eased into these sort of things. So so starting over drapes I think is a lovely way to do this. I'm using the Massage Warehouse brushed cotton sheet, and this is a really nice thickness. It's like a heavyweight 100% cotton sheet, so it's ideal for treatments and really soft and luxurious. So a nice way you can start is just with some holds. So I quite like to start on the back, but you can start wherever you're drawn to. If you work with sort of energy and chakras, then you can relate to those as well. So I tend to start here with my hand over the sacrum and between the shoulders. And just hold there for a moment. And then you can do some holds. I like to come round and gently hold the backs of the legs over the hamstrings, backs of the knees. My hands are just really soft. Calves, ankles and feet. So you can play around with that however feels right for you. It can be different every time. Then another nice technique you can use is just a bit of rocking. So I quite like to use the heels of my hands for this. So I let my knees relax, so I've got a sort of a lower stance, and then I'm just working down one side of the body. So this is, I've got a hand on the glutes and a hand just supporting along the spine. And I'm just giving the body a gentle rock, and I'm allowing it to come back to me. So I'm doing the pushing and then I'm allowing it to come back. So they are moving in a nice, natural, rhythmical way. And I like to take it down the side of the leg. So I've gone from the glutes and I'm pushing along, sort of working along the greater trochanter, that sort of bony outside part of the hip, and down to the knee. So this is a lovely way to sort of loosen up the lower back and the pelvis as well, where quite often it's still holding on to a lot of tension even when you're just lying down. So this is a nice way to work it out. Just moving down a bit. And I'd repeat that on both sides. So again, just a way to introduce touch over the drapes and helping your client to relax. And the last technique that I also use quite a lot is friction. So again, I probably use the sort of heel or flat of my hand to produce the friction, and this is just stimulating the sort of top layers of the dermis of the skin, bringing heat, bringing warmth, and it just feels really awesome as well. So using the flat of my hand, just working down those areas. You can work wherever. I'm just coming down sort of the lower back again, across the glutes where they hold so much tension, down the leg. a little bit down the arm. And just a couple of sweeps then to finish that. And again, I do that on both sides. So yeah, so that's a couple of ways that you can start a treatment. You don't need to use all of those techniques. I tend to use the holds and the rocking most often. The friction is also quite good if, like me, you were quite cold-blooded and your hands are cold before a treatment. So a nice way to help your hands warm up also is to do the friction. So the first thing you can do is make sure that when you are moving a drape and they've got, say, shorts or underwear on, or in some cases like a sports bra, that you can tuck the drape into whatever they're wearing. So Rich is wearing shorts here, so rather than me just opening this up over the shorts like that and it's sort of all open, I'm going to tuck the drape into the item of clothing, and I'm going to let them know as well that I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to say, I'm just going to tuck this under your shorts there. Is that okay? You don't need to, always be saying this once you've been seeing them for a long time, but just to let them know initially that that's what you're doing and to check that they're fine with that. So that's the first thing. So tuck the drapes into your clothing, into their clothing. It makes it more secure and it also keeps them warmer as well because there's not that air going underneath. The other thing you can do is, for instance, when you're going to lift the leg up so that it's flexed, that the knee is up, you want to make sure that they're not feeling exposed. So in this instance, what I do is wrap the drape under the leg first of all and just pull a little bit through so we've got some to play with. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the end to the client, put it in their hand and let them know that they can just draw that up towards them. So they've then got control of the drape, and so they'll feel more comfortable, they'll know how tight they want to pull it, and then they're not going to feel again that they're being exposed at all. So then when I come to move their leg up, that the drape is nicely keeping their dignity there and they are in control of that. So that's a really nice way of draping as well. It's giving drape to your client so they're in control. So another thing you can do is use another towel to supplement the drape. So for instance, when you work on the abdomen, particularly with female clients, but also with male clients in some instances as well, you want to keep the breast area or the chest area covered. So what I do is use a hand towel that I've folded in half. And what I do is I lay that over the area that you want to remain covered. So in this case, it's going across the chest. I then tuck this in under my client's arm. So I ask them just to lift their arm and then let them know that they can put that down over the towel, which keeps that in place. And I do the same on both sides. So just bring the arm out. And then the arms are securing the towel here. Then I want to move the drape down, so I'm just going to hold the top edge of the towel, so I'm not placing my hand in the middle here, which could feel a little too intrusive. I'm just holding the top edge gently whilst I gently pull the drape down so I can expose the abdomen. Then I'm just going to fold it back to a place that I want to work, and again you could tuck the edges into the waistband so that feels more secure there and you've got a definite border of where you're going to work. So the main things about draping for me is just making sure that the client feels safe and informed about when you are moving the drapes. So that's more so relevant when you're with a new client or when you're in the first few sessions with them. Once you get to know a client, you've worked with them a lot, they know what to expect and they know how the drapes are moved. But in initial sessions, it's good just to say, I'm just going to bring the drape down and tuck it in here, or whatever you're going to say. It's also good just to be aware of possible insecurities of your client, that they may feel quite vulnerable and feel nervous about being exposed. So you want to just move the drapes with care and make sure that you are keeping them safe and feeling relaxed and in trusted hands at all times. If you have any questions, then please leave them in the comments and I'll answer them as soon as I can. If you enjoyed today's video, then please like, share and subscribe. We look forward to seeing you again soon.